Grace Ofure, you have quite an amazing story, if I'm being honest. I read somewhere that you went from selling used clothes to where you are now. You're literally a real estate mogul in Dubai, amongst other things. Can you give me like a bit of your background history? Where did you come from? How did this all start?
Oh, I'm from the city of Ishanland. I don't think you've heard that. So that's Edo State. Precisely, I'm from Ekpoma, where you have the Ambrose Ali University. I schooled in the Ambrose Ali University, and I came to Lagos to do my NYC. So that's where I'm from, biologically. But what is really important for me is what my identity is. So I'll just say, in terms of speaking concerning my identity, I'm divinity in a human being. I really know where I'm from and who I am and whose I am. And that has a lot to do with whatever you have seen about me or with me.
What was growing up like for you?
Just like every other person, because when you look at Africa, we always have the 10%. There's always a big gap between the very super wealthy people and the people that are just ensuring they survive. And I would say I was fortunate enough to come from that very low background, but with a lot of values. Yeah? Education for me and my parents was very important. So they did all that they needed to do. I can never forget that my mother would say, the biggest thing that you can do for a woman or a young child in the village is to give some education. That just sets them apart. Every other thing might not be in abundance, like really, really scarce, to the extent that even as an undergraduate, I had to help my mother sell palm oil. The places they sell those things are not places you have ties. So it's muddy, it's funny. So even at age 14, I knew Abo, I knew so many places in the East, because I literally can go to the market and buy those drums. And one of the things I also remember is that sometimes all the jerry cans of oil are inside the same car. So I have to sit like this, which for me was the best things that happened. Having seen life from that angle. So every time you get a solution for a problem is an opportunity. The reason why you don't have an opportunity is because you're not looking for a solution to solve a problem. Because trying to look for where to buy clothes cheap, that's when I started going to Katangwa to buy clothes to wear to work. So the same clothes I was buying to wear to work became a business, and I started doing and just make sure I have something doing. And that is how I entered into the Okrika business. So sometimes when people talk about their success journey and they cannot tie it, they are lying, because every story have how, when, where. And I'm excited because sometimes people say, these stories just make you smaller. And I said, no, it's going to help somebody else that's listening to say, you know what, if Grace could do it, then I'm learning the steps to do it. So there's nothing wrong in wearing okirika. After all, if not for wearing okirika, I won't have a business. So there were girls living in my area that will not go to Katangwa to bend down. Brother, I will bend down and I will give it to them to buy. And I was making a living. But how much can you really sell in Okrika? That's the next step in your life. That no matter the environment you find yourself does not define your destiny. Most importantly, your identity. When you do not have an identity, environment conform you to stay at the level that you are. So what you should work on is your identity. When you understand your identity, the environment will conform when the time comes. Because what just happened is that irrespective of the fact that I was selling Okrika, I did not forget my identity, that I could create millions of dollars. That I didn't have it doesn't mean that I forgot. I kept saying it. You come to my Okrika shop and I will tell you, I'm going to pay people in dollars and in naira, and you will laugh. But what was I doing? Remembering my identity irrespective of my circumstance. And that gives you what? Hope.
Mindset-wise, how are you able to build that identity for yourself in your current situation?
Because of the things I was listening to. What is a mindset? It's your fixed mental attitude. Why do we have a lot of people that are not very wealthy? Because there's no poor human being. They're just poor in their mind. It's because our fixed mental attitude creates who we are. And what is it? We grew up, no lie. You go outside, the gutters are dirty. Whether you like it or not, these things were imbibed into your culture. All your life, you just grew up with scarcity. You did not cause that. So if you don't rewire it, even if I give you money, brother, you are going back to scarcity. Because it's like trying to put a software of Apple in Android. It won't work. So what you have to do is to relearn what you have learned over the years. And that's some work. So how do you relearn too? The same way you were wired, you have to now wire in new software. And that is one thing in Africa that we are not doing very well. Do you know that other countries, they pay mentors to wire young people to get a job before the mentors will be paid? If a government is hearing me in Africa, you need to understand that the solution in Africa is using the right people to mentor the people. Because when you give them mentors that come from another place, they will not even listen to them. Why do I have a lot of mentees? Because they can understand. Because I feel their pains. I have stories that they can trace, and so they will be hearing me, because not everybody that listens to you is hearing. They're just listening. There's a difference between listening and hearing. It all starts from the mind. If they cannot see it, they will not do it, because they can't see it. And all they see is that it's not working. So no matter what you give to them, it will not work, because you produce your image. So that's why it was the informations that I was hearing, and that I was ready enough to believe the information. Because sometimes you can get information and say, what she's saying. Why will you think what she's saying? Because the wiring will not allow you to get this information. That's the problem. Everything starts from an idea. And where is idea? Mind. All the big techs, everything started from an idea. So if an idea, which is a seed that was planted in your mind, can create the big technology, the light, the bulb, everything you can see. Can you see how powerful it is? And that is what we neglect, because nobody is teaching us that. It's not taught in schools. It's not even allowed for you to think about it too much, because the systems of this world was created for you to be in slavery. So the people that really break out of poverty is that they worked on their mind. And so they were thinking out of the box, like, why must it not work like this? You see something like this, you try to imagine, how did it happen? You do it like 2 days, you give up. It happened in my house for a carpenter. And I sat in the place for 4 days, I figured it out. Why? I was ready to tack my mind. So what the podcast, I think it should be, is that people are able, that's why I like what you're doing, to hear from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and say, why can't I be part of the 10%? I want my story to be told. Once you say that, there will be a rewiring. You'll be ready to listen to the truth, because reality is not truth.
Can you give me in details the exact things you had to change in your mind for you to start actually seeing like real income?
Number 1, understanding that value can produce money. And value can only produce money when you give the value to a lot of people, or the value is big. But you need somebody that has done it before to show you, do like this, do like this. So during the Okrika, I was selling Okrika. I moved from selling in the market to selling in the streets, and I moved to owning a shop. Even when I was there, I knew that what I am thinking in my mind, global things cannot happen here. The curiosity of hunger, that's the word. So I kept searching. So one day I met a young girl that was carrying a good phone. Because I wired my mind not to think everybody's a prostitute and a thief, I asked questions. So I asked, and I said, real estate. How are you doing this real estate? To buy this kind of phone. Then I was ready to learn. I was ready to serve. I was ready to get the information. So the first thing will be, how will you get the customers? How did you get your Krika customers? You see, it's a mind thing. Because sometimes your mind will just tell you it's not going to work. But did you try? Try harder. Have you tried so much? There were times I did so many things that did not work. But in 10 things, one will work. So there's hope. So it's just understanding that you need to play big. If you solve problems for big people, you have big money. You solve problems for people that don't have a lot of money, you have a lot of headache. Because I have played in all the markets, so I can tell you. Before you have a business coach, find out what business have you done. Anybody that does not have a business that have last 15 years cannot coach you nothing. Because business has phases. I'm still learning. So I see a lot of people, they just started it. Before you know, they are teaching us business. What challenges have you faced in business? Everybody is not a teacher. Unless you teach us again, you take us back to schools where they taught us head knowledge. That's all we learned. I can't even remember. But what I remember is what happened to me in my first business, how I got to the second business. So that means if you're a business person, and every good business person, when you lose money, you can go back and make it again. And I tell people that for free. As long as you cannot take grace away from grace, the money is not important. Because what I have is on the inside, is value. I just look for who needs value. How can this value be bigger? Yeah? Then I'll make the numbers again. I think that that's what happened. So it's a process. It's doable. It's achievable. You just need to be with the right people. Wealth is 3 ways. The first one is knowledge. The knowledge that you can be wealthy. The knowledge that you can be all right. The second thing is relationship. Because what you don't hear, you can never think you can do it. So sometimes you are with the cycle that you have been with for the last 10 years, and you are still doing the same thing, thinking that nothing is working. Then the last one is community. Because what you hear and see people express, you become. So it's important. As long as you can do those 3 things, you'll be better tomorrow than yesterday.
So speaking of business, there's no way you start a business without experiencing failures on the way. So what did your failure teach you?
Putting emotion into business. There's a difference between emotion and business. I still have to face that because I'm more of a godly character and I'm a business person. So one of the things I have done now is to structure and allow the people that take those kind of position from HR, because I don't think I want to sack anybody from the emotion side of me. Like my mentor will say, Jesus forgives and me does not. So I am from the Jesus angle where I find everything that everybody does that is okay, which was a big problem. I'm telling you the truth. It was so bad. I couldn't scale a lot for a very long time because I was playing emotion in my business. But now I've sorted that out by putting the right structure for the people that know how to say, you know what, you're out. Nobody gave me an opportunity. So I live for people. So it's difficult. Yeah. Another failure is making everybody have your mindset that will not work. So there are some business proposals or business model I applied, because I started doing real estate with people. I brought people together. So in my mind, I'm like, everybody can wait for 50 years, 20 years to have money. Then I now brought some people together that they are waiting for the money to come tomorrow morning. And they'll say, Grace is a thief. Why are you not giving us our money? The land has appreciated. Go and sell it. Go and sell. Okay. I have properties I've not sold for 25 years. I forget it because if I remember that I have it, I won't work harder. And I'm not thinking about my today. I'm thinking about my future. So some business idea that was not good. I will never do that kind of a thing again. Then how to scale your business is what I also learned on the field. So I can tell you this and this and this you will do to scale your business. Number one, to scale your business, don't be after profit. Be after the people. Because the truth is, everybody will give you money if what you are giving to them is better than what you are taking. So if you want to grow your business, give more than what you will get. You will always have money. And that is what the generation of today are not interested. And that is what we are saying. Please be interested so you can build to last. Because one of the things that happened to me in the last 5 years, crushed people, killed people, people committed suicide, people died. A lot of people have BP because of what happened in the real estate space. It shook people. But guess what? It was my best 5 years. Because from the internal, I was getting ready for what will happen. I had stepped back for 2 years. Nobody knew. And I was re-strategizing because I saw it coming. By the Spirit, can't remove God from this. He has given me another market. And I have moved to Dubai somehow. So by the time people were trying to say, what is happening? I was already in Dubai and I was gaining grounds. Not everybody will love you. But every well-meaning human being will love Grace Ofure. The genuine people will know that this lady is genuine. And guess what? They followed me to Dubai. So that means if you had not built that kind of confidence, that kind of aura, that kind of integrity, when it happens, you don't have anywhere you're going to. So the first people that followed me to Dubai were the well-meaning customers that were supposed to be angry, but they discovered that this is beyond this lady. And they're like, Grace, let's go. You never know what is coming in front of you. Make sure your back is good. And that is why I blew up in Dubai and people are wondering what happened. It's not because of today, it's because of what I've done in the past. And people say, she can be trusted. It's important. Don't sell your dignity for cheap kobo.
What would you say are some common mistakes you see people make while building a business?
Trying to start with lies, because once you say one lie, You have to cover up the lie with like 1,000 lies. So you increase your lies. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you discover that what I said 5 years ago is what I'm still saying today. Like in Dubai, I am the only human being that tells you, don't think it's MMM or don't think it's Nigeria, where you stop paying and you come back and meet Grace Ofure like you are doing. I want my money back. In Dubai, they will not hear English because they will give you a document that is like this that you will never read. So how do you want to sell a market to you? The first thing I tell you is the reason why you should not buy. And this is online. Go and check. If I'm doing any training on buying Dubai, because Dubai is very profitable. Dubai is the best market in real estate in this world right now. Even Harvard. I just went to Harvard. So I'm talking with facts, emotion, feelings, and everything. But guess what? The first thing I will tell you is you are going to lose your money. And you're wondering, is this lady okay? Because you know why? If I tell you that it will stick in your mind and I will tell you what you will do not to lose your mind. So by the time you do that, you will never come back to Grace Ofure and say, you didn't tell me. It's the first thing I will tell you. I have seen agents, both globally and locally, they never say it. They're afraid of losing a customer. It's better to lose a customer than to lose a nation, a full nation. Be as transparent as you can be. But what we crown it all is love people. Every business is servicing people. You don't love people, you can't do business.
Can you take me through how your first real estate deal in Dubai went? Because you mentioned Dubai is the best place to do real estate in the whole world. You've done real estate in Nigeria as well and Dubai. So what's the difference between these two places?
Okay, so Dubai market is not for everybody because of the cost. But if you want to build wealth, real estate should be something you should always think about. And I will always say, start from anywhere you can afford it. Because I didn't start from Dubai. That's the truth. I didn't even start by owning one piece of property. I started by bringing people together to own one piece of property, which is not a good business model anyway. But if you can do it with friends, you can do it with family, people that you can manage. So I did real estate for a very long time. So I did land banking for a very long time. I didn't have a company about real estate. I was just buying and just selling to people, helping people to buy till it evolved into a company, yeah? So the environment that we have found ourselves, it's an environment that things are not so sure and you have to do a lot. So no matter what happens, if some do not go the way you wanted them to go, at least some will go because it's very profitable. If anybody says real estate is not profitable, it's a lie because real estate has cycles. You have to be patient. Real estate is not for people that want to get quick rich. So you have to be patient. But Dubai is diversification of your wealth. When you want to start thinking serious things, then you must think of a place that already have some structures and it makes you global. So it gives you a global perspective because now you're no longer playing in a local market. Then two, Dubai is a business plan, the whole country. So what I did was to invest there. Some of my investors, we went together with these investments together. We saw the entire process. We saw the challenges. We saw what we were supposed to do and what we were not supposed to do because we were putting our money. And by the time we had done, does this kind of thing exist? No capital gain tax, nothing. Then I started to say, what is the catch? You see, why will I be thinking of what is the catch is your mindset? Because I was opened to listen and learn. I wasn't saying what is the catch to run away. I was saying what is the catch to what are the things I need to find out. And I discovered that Nigeria is a vision that was created not by you and me. So we are living in the vision of the creators of Nigeria. Unless you live above the vision, you're on your own. So Dubai was created by some people that have vision. If you have read the book. So what they did was to find out what value can we give to you that you don't have. And they said, they're taxing you too much. Come here, I will not collect your tax. They are exposing your money too much. Come here, I will not tell people how much you own. They are not giving you a good lifestyle. Anytime you wear wristwatch, you're afraid. You wear anything, you're afraid. Come here, we'll give you the highest security. It's the same thing that makes you create wealth, brother. They gave you too much value. And you gave them the money that was useless in another country. So they played on understanding the value proposition of a nation. They were not ready to just give you their desert for free. They thought of what you don't have. So Dubai is not a scam, it's a strategy. And gave you what your nation will not give you for no reason, I tell you. And the one that I really love is that they gave you opportunity to make sure that your mind work to create some money before you enter into mortgage. Dubai is the only place in this world that they say you must at least give you some years to put 40% together before we'll give you a mortgage, because they know with that you really own. If you're watching me from all over the world, you own nothing. You're a tenant to your mortgage or your finance people, whether the bank, they don't like me, so it doesn't really matter. You are just a tenant to them. You don't own nothing. Why? They give you when you drop 5% or 10%, yeah? Because they know it will be difficult for you to pay 9% plus all the tax they are slashing on your head. But Dubai says no. You have the capacity to make money because we had value. And this is the value exchange. So we believe that you have value. So you use your value and go and raise 40%. We'll give you time to raise the 40% because we know that your 60% will not make you a debtor. With that 40%, you could actually own 20 units of, depends on how old or how young you are.
So real estate in Dubai, is it for the super wealthy? Because someone like...
Everybody can afford it if you plan for it.
Okay, someone with $10,000, what can they do?
That's a very good way to start because that's your deposit. You figure the rest out. What really makes you want to do more? Because you have things to sort out. But when you don't really have some things, you know when you say you are very tired, and you are really very tired, and everybody comes to your house and say, please now, you say, I'm tired. When I say fire, and you can literally see the fire, what happens?
Stand up and run.
Thank you. That's Dubai. So if you want to be wealthy, you need to play in that market because you know what is at stake if you don't bring the money. The money will start to come. There's a seed of greatness on the inside of you, but you really need a farmer to cultivate it. And that's why they call me the money farmer. Some people think it's money. No, it's really not money. It's being able to help you cultivate the seed that has been planted in you. And once you cultivate the seed to greatness, it will bring the currency. So there is no poor man, neither there is any senseless human being. Just needs the right strategy. What keeps you poor? Lack of knowledge. What keeps you not taking decision of fear? Lack of knowledge. Because you are afraid. You don't believe that it will work. So the knowledge of not understanding that it will work keeps you. So everything is knowledge. So always learn to do things by being knowledgeable at it, or get somebody that is very knowledgeable at it. Like when I came to this show, I was like, you are knowledgeable in YouTube, so what's my business with YouTube? So we hate knowledge because knowledge is expensive and knowledge is hard. So it's knowledge and the right kind of knowledge, because awareness doesn't make things happen. It's mastery that does. And you cannot master anything you did not do. The most important thing is in this communication, go for an expert that understands this thing. I will rather pay an expert not to do it twice.
Wow. You're really someone with so much intelligence. What are your core values that makes you who you are?
Makiba sotobla gadibo shehi kasute kalagadesh. That's it. Everything was bettered by the Spirit of God. So it's the only thing that knows everything, and it's a supernatural strategist. So when you have that kind of thing on the inside of you, brother, it regulates everything. So spend time to know the Holy Ghost. Jude 20 says, building up yourself in the Holy Ghost, like an edifice, because I'm a builder, so I understand. When you are building an edifice, it's not a bungalow. So once you understand that, you build up by speaking in other tongues. That's the mystery.
Vision to reality. You speak on this so many times. It's even on your bio. What responsibilities come with speaking about wealth and things like this?
It's a lot because too many people are not wealthy. So that's it. So you just, like my husband told me yesterday night, if only I can stop you from talking, but for me, it's more than a business now. Don't you think so? It's a mission. So some of us that have seen that this is our calling will keep talking until we get that thing into you. I won't stop talking. So I have programs where I talk many things. First of all, get you to even see. People are not looking. All they see is impossibility. How do you get wealthy? For me, if you don't see it, I can't even deal because you will never have it. So we are going to try. As they keep joining the community, we'll keep trying. And one thing that I'm excited about is what people have turned to. Many people. Anywhere I go to, even people I don't, you don't know how my life has changed just by listening to you. So that's legacy, yeah? Then the ones that come into the community, they just turn to a different person, yeah? So with that testimony, that's wealth for me. Because money is cheap to make. Making people is hard. Changing a man from this mind they have for 30 years, in 1 year, give me some kudos. That's hard. So that's why we need the power of the Holy Ghost to keep at it.
So to the people watching this video right now, what do you want them to take away?
See, it's so difficult to see now because of the noise. Can you just close your eyes and see your future? For once, if you do that, it's medicine to your success. Start from there. Then listen to people that inspire you for greatness. Don't listen to anybody that makes you feel it's not possible. Wrong. You don't need that right now. Be in an environment. Force yourself into an environment that is not comfortable for you. Then launch out. And don't be apologetic in making mistakes. It is not a mistake. It's a process. It's not a failure. It's the way to the top. See it like that. Then we are ready to move.
I'm inspired, and I'm sure I learned a lot from this section. Thank you for honoring my invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please, 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 please. This is coming from Grace Ofure. 30 minutes of Grace Ofure every day will take poverty away from you. But one thing that I've seen in this podcast is that they bring many Grace Ofure because they understand the power of story, how it could change your mindset. So please subscribe, share, and get people to listen. When you're inspired, you take some good decisions. Love you. See ya next episode.